Hello, hello, hello. I am John. No, I'm an American Scheme. That's right. Forgot my goddamn name and shit, right? I am. Hi. No, I am John. I'm John first before I'm an American Scheme. Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I am proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. Diana Ross is actually Michael Jackson's mother. All right. I gotta entertain myself and shit, right? Because you guys are all so fucking stupid. Can't entertain me at all and shit, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and just rant and vent a little bit and shit, right? So this is one of these this video Albert Einstein's life-changing quotes. Now, if a quote can change your mind, you're pathetically stupid and shit, right? A quote means nothing. This is stupid shit, right? Quotes are just a little quote. They need an extremely amount of explaining to have understanding of what a quote is, right? It's like literally, I could fill a library of books trying to explain what one of these quotes means. So this is the kind of thing in the world is that if you see an Albert Einstein quote and you think that encompasses, the reality of the universe and shit, right? You just don't know anything. You're dumb as fuck. You're really, really, really stupid, right? And this is the problem in the world is that everybody is so fucking stupid. It's one of this really, really difficult thing of what I'm having to deal with. And it's one of these things where I can relate to Michael Jackson because I know exactly now what it was like for Michael Jackson to have to live in a world where you just seem normal and everything's just so normal. And if, you just seem normal, but everybody else is so fucking stupid. And you sit there just like it's like in the movie Idiocracy where the guy is just a normal dude but everybody else is really really fucking stupid and you just like look around like what the fuck how are these people this stupid and shit, right? So let's start with this little quote and shit, right? So let's start with this. There's so much stuff I want to talk about and explain and stuff, right? It just takes time and stuff, right? Okay, so this one says, we can't solve today's problems with the mentality that created them. Now, the reason I pulled this quote up is because this is what I say what happened to me. And this is the thing that if you don't do this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how smart you get, how much you read, how much you know. It absolutely does not matter what you do unless you do this thing of what I'm going to explain to you, right? And this is the thing of what happened to me. Like when I did LSD. And I want to mention that Matt's FTR was talking with Julie and he was talking about LSD and shit, right? Matt's so stupid. And Matt's saying, Matt just makes stuff up. This is the thing. It's the conclusions that you have in your head. That's going to set your framework of your thought process of how you think, right? And that's what I'm going to get to with this quote and stuff, right? So Matt's FTR was saying that I was saying if you take LSD that you'll be just like me, and I would never say that. That's not me. It's not the person of who I am. It's not how I think, right? So I would never say that. But Matt's logic thinks that I would say that. Then Matt takes that as a fact, and now Matt has he lied to himself based on some facts that he created himself, some lie. And now he's taken it as it's facts, like it's evidence, like it's proof, right? And then he builds his life around all that fucked up, stupid evidence that he's created in his head. And that's the world of which he lives in. He lives in a freaking dream world of false facts, make believes, fucking realities. It's just pathetic. He's a pathetic fucking human being and shit, right? Because I would never, ever tell you that taking the drug will turn you into me. That's not how I always say you need a shock to your system. Now, I needed a shock to my system to get me to realize like what this quote is saying, right? This is where I understood like when I took acid. And this is like what I say, like the kid Julian and stuff that's taking drugs, you're just a drug addict and shit, right? You're not me. Like I said, like I have the brain of a god. Right, you don't have the brain of a god. You're a loser. You have the brain of the loser, pathetic, fucking moron, Neanderthal, fucking degenerate loser that you are. You're a fucking loser. So when you take drugs, you're just gonna see little fairies and fucking orbs and shit, and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so amazed! Look at the little fairies and the orbs! Oh my god!" Children shit, because you don't have the mentality, the intellectual presence to be able to see the real shit, to be able to expand on that and to open the doors on your own, not to have to see the drug open the door. But once the drug opened the door, I took control of my fucking journey, and I started opening the doors on my own. I didn't need any more drugs to open the doors, because now I had the ability to do it on my own and shit, right? But you motherfuckers just sit there and let everything happen to you. You are not in control. You never in control. You never have any understanding and shit of anything and shit, right? And that's why you just become a drug addict loser, like all the other fucking drug addict losers that never have any true understanding of the kind of person like what I am, because what I understood and what I did. And this is the process. And now, when I say I did this, it's incredibly simple. But for you to do it, it's incredibly difficult. And it's very, very difficult, to the point where it's almost like impossible for anybody to even do it. Right? So I already know that you guys are all beneath me. That's why I talk about myself as a god, because I've evolved and shit, right? To my true presence and understanding of what I am and shit, right? You guys are just the ants and the cockroaches crawling around and shit. That's all you people are. You're nothing and shit, right? So what happened to me when I took LSD, I understood simply, like it says, we can't solve today's problems. Okay, so I understood that I lived in a world with a lot of problems and a lot of misteachings, and a lot of things were wrong. I had understood this. I'm only 19 years old at this time, right? But at 19 years old, I understood that my thought process was wrong, that there was a lot of problems, and all of that stuff happened because of the world of what I absorbed as general information just from my normal everyday life. You absorb things as general information. Now, regardless if it's true or not, if you absorb that as a truth over a long period of time, it will just become a truth, regardless if it was ever true or not, or regardless if you have any understanding of how it was created, how that process developed to get that. You just accept it as truth, right? So when I took acid, what I say is I had a shock to my system, and it made me realize that the person I was, I did not create myself. That I was not in control of my thought process and shit, right? Which would create problems, right? And all of that stuff. So, like I said, you can't solve today's problems with the mentality that created them. So I understood that the mentality of what I had at that time was more of a problem instead of being like an awareness and a true understanding. I could see all the flaws, and I could see the flaws in which that I thought I understood things, that I had accepted things as reality and commonalities, common truths and shit, right? But then as I look back upon them, I understood that no, they were not true. And not only were they not true, they were actually, people are saying that to intentionally mislead me, to lead me down the wrong path, so I don't see the truth, and so I don't think properly and shit, right? So what I had done at that time was, this is what I say, what you got to do. You have to be smart enough to understand how stupid you are. And that's God. That's being a god. That is the step of what it takes from you to evolve from your pathetic little human existence of what you are to actually becoming a god. And that's what I say is what you have to do. You have to be smart enough to understand how stupid you are. And when you can actually, and see, it's so simple, but it's so, if you actually tell people to actually try and do it and actually have an understanding of what they're doing in the process, they can't do it. And if they try and do it, they'll do it wrong, and they'll fuck it all up, and then they'll think that they're doing it right, and when they're doing it all wrong, they're just self-sabotaging themselves and shit, right? It's so simple. You got to be smart enough to understand how stupid you are, right? You got to be smart enough to understand that you can't solve today's problems with the mentality that created them. So you have to completely change your mentality, and you can't allow yourself to perceive things and have the perception of thought of which you were raised to think and how that absorbed into you. And it just allowed your thought process to develop and allowed you to say things and take for granted things that you don't have any idea about. You don't have any understanding. So that's what you have to do, is to shock your system. You have to come to that point where you realize, where you actually become smart. And when you actually become smart, you actually realize how stupid you are. And it can sound contradictory, but that's how it actually works. All right. And that's how then you change your mentality from your new wisdom and your new view of perception of reality and everything, and your new experience. And now you don't judge things based upon the mentality of what you had in the past. You recreate yourself and you start over, and everything is new and everything has to be thought about again. And you don't say, I just accept that as reality. You say, why did I ever accept that as reality in the beginning? Why did I allow myself to ever accept that as reality? Who are these people who are putting these fucking false facts out there into our universe and trying to force us to accept them as reality? Who are these people? Why are they doing that? Why are we going through this process, right? And that's when you start asking why, and you start actually asking questions. And when you get an answer, you don't sit back and say, well, that's the answer, I've got the answer to it. No, you constantly keep evolving. You go through life, you get new lessons and new experiences. You go back and reanalyze that, the thought process, and you look at it again, and you just keep doing this. And so, like, I've been doing this. So I'm over 50 years old now. I started when I was 19. So I've been doing this. I've been thinking this way on a daily basis for over 30 years, right? That's what I say. There was a reason it was me who saw the truth about Michael Jackson. There was a reason. Now, I got incredibly lucky. If I wasn't in that exact spot and time and moment to have what I would call technically a vision to see it. Now, if that didn't happen, it never would have happened. But what happened was, because of the person I was and who I am, when I was shown the truth, then I was able to accept it and have an understanding of it because of the person I had created myself to be. And then when I saw the truth, I was able to see it and understand that, whoa, I just saw something. This is different. I need to investigate. And then I did a real investigation, which all of my entire Michael Jackson story is based around an investigation. But because of my investigation, I understand how to ask questions. Like, for example, like Matt's FTR. Matt's FTR the other day said something. This is one of these things, these people, they try and create in their head. They're like, oh, well, if I was creating the story, then I would do it this way. And it's like, well, right there, you're wrong, because I never created the story. I always did an investigation. And if you're not doing a proper investigation into finding the evidence and shit, then you never would have found the right evidence. That's why your story would suck. And that's why you would just be a loser of Matt's FTR. And that's why you would live in a fucking icebox fucking under somebody else's house and shit in a horrible country, Canada and shit, right? Total losers, no friends. I mean, what kind of loser? Matt's FTR the other day said that he got a vasectomy. And it's like, okay, so me as a man, I can't even conceive, like, why would you have a vasectomy if you don't already have children, right? The only logical explanation of what I can come up with is that you don't want to impregnate some young girl when you're being a pedophile, of what Matt's FTR is. And Matt's FTR is always looking for his opportunity to be able to sexually abuse some young girl. And when he has that opportunity, the one thing he wants to make sure is that he does not impregnate that girl. The one thing, because it takes time to get a condom, and it's dangerous and shit, right? So if you don't impregnate the girl, boy, that's it's gonna give you a much better chance of not being held responsible for your fucking actions and shit, right? So it's like, so Matt's FTR, by getting a vasectomy, is that actual proof that he's a pedophile? Because I can't explain any other reason why a man, he's still only 30 years old. Why would a man who's 30 years old get a vasectomy if you have no children? Like, okay, first of all, you're not a man then. Okay, you're not a man, because the whole purpose of being a man is, at some point, you want to you want to get married and you want to have kids and recreate and shit, right? And if that's not there for you, then you're not an actual like man. You're a human and shit, but you're not a man. So once you voluntarily gave that up, it's like, well, you're not a real man, Matt. And it's like, well, if you're not a real man, what are you? Are you a pedophile? Because you're not a real man. On your page, all you do is hang out with these kids and shit. You have the mentality of these children. I mean, the kids or the people on your page are Matt FDR has to hang around with the lowest mentally people that there is. And obviously, you look at the people on his page, how stupid, like that Tanya Moonwalker person. She's like literally like the stupidest person. Her voice is like the most irritating voice, like literally. If you want to torture somebody, it's like, oh, just let them fucking listen to Tanya Moonwalker a day. That's like torture. Her voice is like the most horrible. It would be torture. It's like, if you want to torture me, lock me in a room and make me listen to that Tanya Moonwalker. That would be like drive me to fucking suicide and shit, because her voice is fucking horrible. Her voice to me sounds like it's like a mix of like somebody from Fargo, like that TV show Fargo and shit, right? She's like a Fargo Valley girl. That's the way she's like a Fargo Valley girl. It's like the worst possible fucking voice of what you could have. The worst possible combination. Fargo Valley girl. That's Tanya Moonwalker. Her voice is the worst voice like possibly ever. Then her dumb ass is so stupid. She holds the camera and shakes and shakes and shakes. It's like, dude, like I told her, get a tripod, you dumb bitch, or put it on a fucking stand. How stupid. Not only do you have the most irritating voice I've ever heard in my fucking life, then you sit there and shake your fucking camera. It's like literally the lowest quality of fucking entertainment. It's like, dude, do you not understand? You're on YouTube. You got to have some form of entertainment quality. Now, like my visual quality and stuff right now is horrible and stuff, right? But my voice and just hearing people is good enough and shit, right? For any intellectual people that actually enjoy, like, listen to fucking smart people and hear some quality information that you never get anywhere else in the world and shit, right? You don't get from nobody and shit. Bunch of losers and shit. Like, talk about losers. So the Matt's FTR. So like he was saying because he was saying, oh, if I was doing it, what about this song Unbreakable, right? And it's like, dude, you have no idea. Unbreakable's nothing. Has nothing to do with the story. Michael didn't write Unbreakable. Unbreakable is nothing. It's just some stupid little pop song that Michael makes because he works with a lot of people and he makes a lot of songs and shit, right? But Unbreakable, technically, you could always say there's always songs you can always say it relates to Mike, but it's not like the song's written by Mike. It's not like Billie Jean and shit, right? We're not even in the same level. We're not in the same planet and shit. What a song like Billie Jean is compared to fucking Unbreakable, right? And so Matt just credits my genius understanding and explanation of what the most genius creative art piece that I say is like the true masterpiece. It's like the greatest art piece and masterpiece that's ever been done. Like I say, is Billie Jean. But Matt's going to just credit what Billie Jean is, and Michael's true artist, genius, and creative. He's going to completely discredit that. No, it's Unbreakable. Unbreakable, because it's got some word in his head that makes him think that relates to the story of what I'm telling. It's just garbage. I don't ever do that. I look for information, facts. The facts then gets me to have conversations and to tell you people and explain what's actually going on. Like another part, it was like Matt's FDR was saying things like things that are important and shit, right? And I was saying one of the things that's important is the Michael Jackson's third speech recording, right? And Matt says, Michael never said that Diana was his mother or that he was an abandoned child. He said something like that, right? He never said that. It's like, no, that is exactly what he said. Michael said, there's the children. He says there's children and they walk around with no mothers and I feel their pain. That's exactly what he said. He says these children walk around with no mothers and I feel their pain. He feels their pain. And why are the children in pain? Because they're walking around with no mothers. And Michael says, they drop them off. It leaves a psychological degradation of that. That's what happened to Michael Jackson. When he found out that he was an abandoned child, it left a psychological degradation on his soul. And he had to stay living in the Jacksons' household while the Jacksons are saying, beat it to him. Beat it with you thinking that you're that kid fucking of Diana and Smokey. You would have beat it thinking that because we own your ass. And that's where Michael said, really? You think you own me? I'll beat it. I'm going to beat all of it. That's what the beat it's about. You people have no understanding of who Michael Jackson was and shit, right? What his actual words. And Michael actually told him when he's telling you the song Childhood, he tells you that the nobody understands me. That you people saw me from afar. So like right there, Michael just flat out told you that all the fans, you're all wrong. And it's like we all use wrong. Talk about that Tanya Moonwalker bitch. Look at like I made a video about Tanya Moonwalker before, and she never replied to anything, never answered anything. What she do? She reported my shit, right? Like that Tanya Moonwalker bitch. She made a statement that I never say anything. When she says something, I never. No, I have. I always fucking answer your questions. But your questions are so pathetically stupid, and you can't deal with any form of reality. Because you ask Tanya Moonwalker to deal with one form of reality, you say, look at Tanya, Michael Jackson was stripped naked by the cops, and they photographed him, basically did pornography for the government and shit, right? And paid $20 million. You just ask her a simple question. You think it was okay for Michael Jackson to have the relationships with the children after he went through that process, and he's got his own children, and you think it was okay for him to put his children now in that situation? And then they will say nothing. They'll say not, they will never answer the question. Right? So Tanya started saying, she started asking questions. Oh, well, like you ask them that simple question, they can't answer it because they can't deal with any form of reality and shit, right? So she said, oh, the first kid and shit. Like, I don't even care about these kids' names. The people are really not that important and shit, right? That story, it doesn't mean anything because actually the Neverland Ranch actually justifies like me saying with the Peter Pan and the abandonment of the child. I can use all the Neverland Ranch stuff to explain all that stuff. I don't need to even go into the relationships with the children. That's the only reason I even go to the children stuff, and that's where I go to explain Michael's a virgin. I use that for that kind of thing and stuff, right? But I don't even need it for my other stuff. I really, because Michael's got the Neverland Ranch. With the Neverland Ranch there, I don't need to say that he's having this relationship with these people because the Neverland Ranch explains all of that shit, right? But so, stupid time. Oh, I was stupid. Tanya Moore saying a couple, like she'll say a couple of things like she'll always go back to she'll always say about the train station and let me get back to this. You were saying one thing, Tanya. You said something that I was saying, like since the first case with the Wade James and stuff, right? When the Leaving Neverland came out, and the first, I instantly was saying this is going to go bad for Michael. I can see it already. This is going to go bad and stuff, right? And now we're going through the steps, and now the first thing that got shut down and stuff, their first trial and stuff. But what happened, and this is why I say no, it was not Leaving Neverland and the situation of what was going on. I could see the bigger picture of at play of this is not going to stop. This is something else that's happening, and it's going to keep going on. And because of that, I could see what was going on. And what happened because of that was Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman actually is the guy who actually created the law. He's the one who actually went to the fucking government and created there's a law about how to protect children in like Hollywood and stuff, right? And from pedophiles. That's so Corey Feldman is the one who he created a law, and what the law said was that we're going to get rid of what's known as the statute of limitations. Because the Wade and James, one of the things that they were having a problem with was the statute of limitations thing, is that there's a time limit involved in this, right? But what Corey Feldman was able to do is he got the law changed. And he said that if a crime like this happened to you when you were a kid, the statute of limitation does not apply anymore, because now the statute of limitation only applies from when you became aware that it happened to you. Okay, now that changes the date of what the statute of limitations thing is. It only becomes of when you're aware, which that is what allowed Wade and James now to reissue their criminal. It's not criminal. It's their monetary crime law, whatever. It's a court of law, whatever the crime, whatever they're suing for, because they're not trying to put Michael in jail now. They're trying to take his money. But it doesn't matter. In order to get the money, they have to form a proof of guilt to him, and he has to be responsible. And if they can prove that and the kids are awarded money, then everybody will just to take that as that Michael was proven to be a pedophile in the court, right? That's the way everybody's going to see it and shit, right? So Corey Feldman is the one who actually did that. Corey Feldman is the one, and I do not trust Corey Feldman at all. Like I said, I heard Corey Haim said to Corey Feldman right to his face, he said, "You took me to that house where those people were at who molested me. You took me there. You introduced me to those people. Now, what I actually do think is that Corey Feldman actually tried to have sex with Michael Jackson. I think that Corey Feldman is like, it would be like an Illuminati plant. He's a plant there. He's set up to be there. He's an insider guy. And I think that they were trying to use him to actually have sex with Michael Jackson, and then they were going to use that as leverage to control Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson was not ever a pedophile, and he never did that with Corey Feldman and shit. He never was doing that. But Corey Feldman kept trying. You could so see it. I've been around so much before with these dumb bitches where they constantly are trying to come out there just throwing their pussy at me. This is one of the things about women. Women were raised, this is this kind of mentality, the mentality of how people think. Women are raised to think that all dudes want to fuck them. And it's like, so these women think that women don't understand when they go and they try and have sex with the man and the man rejects them. And they're like, what the hell? I was raised my whole life thinking that all men are dogs and that they'll fuck anything. And it's like, dude, I don't want to fuck you, you dumb bitch. You fucking stink. You're fucking nasty. I don't want to get you pregnant. And I got to worry about you fucking using my kid as leverage over me. I got to support your dumb ass. There's so many fucking bitches out there. I don't want nothing to do with you dumb bitches. And when you fucking reject these fucking stupid bitches, they get all fucking wacky on you. They turn into fucking nut jobs. They are fucking nut jobs. And that's what the fucking Corey Feldman is representing. When I see Corey Feldman in his relationship with Michael, he looks exactly like that nut job fucking bitch that fucking, like somebody told him, go try and have sex with him, but Michael never would. And Corey Feldman didn't like that and shit, right? And now when it's time for him to turn and get his payback, that's what he's doing. He's trying to turn on Michael because he's the scorned woman who was rejected because Michael wouldn't have sex with the dumbass and shit, right? Fucking idiots. So that's what's happening with the case with Michael is like when you dumb idiots are saying this shit, it's like you don't even know what's happening. And Corey Feldman is the one who fucking is doing it. Corey Feldman, the reason that Wade and James are involved in this current lawsuit right now, the reason that it's happening is Corey Feldman did that. Like, and you dumb motherfuckers don't know anything about anything. Stupid as fuck. And so that's what I'm saying. The way the law is now read is that it only matters from where the time of now that you realize it was done to you. So any of the stuff that you people are saying have the wrong dates with the train station or the Grand Canyon trip, that is completely irrelevant because those things were occurring at the time of where these children were being subjected to mental and physical torture from Michael Jackson's pedophile abuse. That's what they'll prove in a court of law, which will invalidate any of your guys' arguments. This is what I'm saying. The damn fucking Tanya says, I don't deal with it. No, I deal with it. And I explained to you, this is exactly what's going to happen. But Tanya's dumbass has no understanding of what the fuck I'm talking about. And she'll come out tomorrow and she'll say the same thing. Oh, what about the train station? Like that's some kind of proof that you guys are idiots. You guys are dumb. The only reason you think that now, was it cool for you guys to discover that and bring it forth as information? Yes, that's cool. But for you to think that that's real evidence and that that's going to hold up in a court of law, it's not. No, it's not. And I can easily overcome it very easily. Like the Tanya Moonwalker said something about the first kid that I don't know, there was something that dad committed suicide, whatever happened. That's way later on in life. What does that have to do with anything? And then this is what she said too, Tanya, because you were saying I don't answer stuff. So you said, well then, why didn't they go through with it after they got the money? Why didn't they keep trying to put Michael in jail if that was the problem? No. At that point, as a father, the father had to look and say, what is best for my child? Is it best for my child now to go ahead and take this money and we'll go ahead and just live our lives and shit? Or is it best for us to now get involved in one of the biggest media frenzies and have my kid exposed to all this media where they're constantly having to be talking about Michael Jackson's penis and shit, right? And all this stuff. Why would you put your son through that fucking shit if you didn't have to? It makes perfect fucking sense to me that at that time that's why people don't go through lawsuits and all these people. Most people don't go to court. They settle out of court. Why did you settle out of court when if you could have went to court, you could have got twice as much money? because it was more problems and hassles and stuff. And the money of what they offered us was enough. It was substantial enough. It was enough for us to go on, move on our lives and stuff. So what happened was, the cops still would have prosecuted. That is what would have happened. The cops still said, yeah, we'll prosecute, but we need the kid as a witness, right? But that's what the kid was not going to be a witness anymore. So the police had no more case, and they had to drop it and let it go. But you're saying, like, why didn't they go through? Yeah, the kid, I don't think the father should have put his kid through that shit at that time, because we are talking about Michael Jackson. I mean, he's got all this attention around him. How easy is it going to be for him to abuse people? If he's actually abusing people, people are going to know about it. And that's exactly what a point of what goes at just when Oprah Winfrey asked Michael if he was a virgin. It's the same exact thing. If Michael Jackson had been having sex with women, well, people like Oprah are asking about it. People are talking about it. People want to hear about that. There would have been a lot of rumors and people that actually, there's no way possible Oprah Winfrey could have been around the Hollywood scene and never had ran around a woman that was credible that said she had sex with Michael Jackson, because that never had happened. She said she came out and asked Michael, are you a virgin? The only way possible for Oprah to ask that question is that she's in Hollywood and she has never heard anybody say they had sex with Michael Jackson. And then because Oprah Winfrey was the victim of a pedophile person as a child, she was preyed upon sexually or whatever, right? That's that mentality, like I say, with the women. These women think that all dudes want to fuck her. So when you're a girl like Oprah and you've been sexually abused, now you think that everybody wants to fuck you and shit. And they'll even fuck you when you're a kid. So that's what when Oprah, that's the mentality that she had. And when she couldn't prove, when the mentality of her, what she saw was the truth, that was Michael was a virgin. But she couldn't understand that. Nobody can understand what that is. That's not something that is understood. How could you be Michael Jackson and you were in the Jackson 5 with the brothers? Because that's the thing that, and it's even with me, the thing that makes it really hard is like, how could Michael stay a virgin being on the road with the brothers and stuff? It's like, it's one of those things that took me a long time to get to the point where I could accept it, but I really accept it and have the understanding. It's like, no, he was already so damaged and he was spending time with Diana Ross, and he had already had the separation from the family. And then it's that thing that he found out that he was the child of a what I call the original Billie Jean groupie, because it was Diana Ross who was the original Billie Jean groupie going after Smokey Robinson. That's how, so Diana's the actual Billie Jean groupie. So this is the thing about, like, when you explain to stuff and when you have the true understanding of what it is, it's like, my God, my story is fucking phenomenal. It's so great. It's so incredible and shit, right? But the fans are not interested in this. And that's why I say this is proof that they're fake fans. Look I just proved to you that Matt's FTR is a liar. He lies. In the video, the last video I made, I showed you Matt was lying about me, flat out lies, making up stories that are completely lies. He never, ever heard anything like that. And he just making shit up and telling the people that, oh, no, this is what he said. I heard it. And he's claiming as it's an eyewitness testimonial. He's saying, no, I heard this for sure. He said that, I guarantee. Flat out lies. But see, this is the kind of thing about you get some loser like that with Matt's FTR, is that Matt's FTR will completely make a flat out lie, and into his head, it now has become some form of reality, and that's that fucked up world of where he's living in, where he's completely lost. He's got this reality, this mentality based upon lies that he created for himself. And that's why he yells at everybody else and blames everything else, because the actual person who's creating the problems and lying to him is himself. He's doing it to himself. And he can never fix himself, and he'll never say that he's the problem. He'll never do that because he's the piece of shit dirtball loser of what the fuck he is, right? I go after every single one of these motherfuckers. I challenge every single thing. There is nothing. Matt's FTR made a statement. He said he made a video a long time ago, and he totally destroyed me. It's like, dude, I countered any video that you made of me. I countered it, and it's still there. Those videos are still there and shit, right? I fucking countered every single point you made. Anything that you ever did, I've countered and explained what it is. You've never done anything. You were just like the worst, the most pathetic. There's like a thing in the Matrix when they talk about, he says, freeing a mind, like freeing a mind. He says, I've seen problems with like trying to free a mind after a person is 30 and shit, right? And, you know, I didn't want to do it, but he had to do it because it was Neo and shit, right? And that's the thing I tell you, Matt, because you were kind of trying to talk with that Julian. I've seen that you're somewhat interested in the drugs. The drugs will make no difference on you. You were 30, and people over 30, their minds can't be freed. You're too absorbed in who you are. And I tell you the thing, you don't have to take drugs. You have to understand that you're the problem, that everything that you think is wrong and your thought process is completely wrong. That's how you fix yourself. Drugs will do nothing to ever benefit you and get you to understand that. You're the problem, Matt. You will never fix your own fucking problem and shit, right? And you'll keep lying. That's the thing. They lie and they lie. And then that stupid Tanya, Matt will say, John should use Unbreakable. And Tanya, yeah, Oh my God. You guys are the dumbest fucking loser morons. The whole Misery Loves Company. Oh, that stupid, I don't even know your Michigan Moonwalker loser motherfucker. That stupid fucking thing you did with the Gorilla Glue. You didn't do a joke. You just showed me what a fucking loser idiot you are. That's not funny, dude. There has to be some kind of joke. You can't just go, there, John made a joke about Gorilla Glue. Here's Gorilla Glue. Like, I don't know that Gorilla Glue exists in the stores. Like, I don't know that that's a product that's fucking out there. You're like, look at John, Gorilla Glue. I found Gorilla Glue. Oh, like every fucking store in the fucking country doesn't have that shit. There was no joke there. You're just dumb. Don't invoke my name. Bring it up so you can fucking expose how fucking stupid you are. Fucking losers. Pathetic, moron, fucking losers. Every one of you. There's nothing that you ever fucking say that I can't completely fucking destroy. You are all fake fucking thieving scumbag losers. Not one of you is any form of a fucking real Michael Jackson fan. You guys are fucking horrible. You're like that fucking Tanya Moonwalker. She's disgusting. It's all about her. It's all about how can she steal from Michael Jackson? Well, how can she use Michael Jackson to bring attention to herself? How can she use Michael Jackson to make herself look better than she is? She's fucking garbage. All of you. And that's why you can't deal with my story, because you're a garbage human being. And you definitely don't fucking care about Michael Jackson, because I'll show you. Look at, here's evidence. Watch this video. You can't do that. You can't do it. You got no brains. You got no fucking mental capacity to be able to deal with fucking reality, what the fucking real world is. And that you're the fucking problem, you fucking losers. Like I said, there is nothing I run from. No question I can't fucking answer. I'll explain fucking everything. These motherfuckers never will answer anything. They're frauds as fuck. Like, how many times I gotta tell you? Michael Jackson was stripped naked and had to do a porno for the fucking government. Then Michael Jackson has his own kids, and he starts hanging out with these kids again. And what happens? His ass gets fucking raided by the cops. He has to go to court. All that time he's in court and all that stuff. Who's taking care of his children? Oh, obviously no one's taking care of children. That's how Paris got her ass fucking raped when she was like 12 years old. Because she didn't have a father there to take care of her. She had some fucking pathetic loser, mental case, drug addict loser who's afraid to fucking tell the world he had no respect for you motherfuckers, because his whole plan was, I'm going to be the biggest star. That was his whole thing. His whole driving fucking force is, I'm going to be the biggest star. And in his eyes, he thought, I'm a better human being than you because I'm a bigger star. And he was dead fucking wrong about that. He's in hell, burning like every other fucking loser moron who ever fucking thought that mentality. It doesn't matter what a great human being he was and the soul of what he had. He died a fucking loser, pathetic, fucking virgin, moron, loser, drug addict, lying piece of shit. So fuck all you motherfuckers. I will talk about Michael. I'll say how great he was. But if you think that he died an angel, you are a fucking moron. If you think that he is ever on the level of a quality human being as I am, you're a fucking moron. I'm the one. I'm the special one here. That's why I was able to see who he was, because I'm above him. And I was looking down upon him, and I was able to see him clearly. He's not above me up in the skies, and I can't make any observations and see what's actually going on. No, I am above him, and I look down upon these fucking losers, and it's very clear and easy for me to see exactly what the fuck is going on. All you fucking losers. I want to mention one other fucking thing. So the other day, fucking went out to go do my shopping and stuff, right? I was doing my shopping, getting all my stuff, and then I was coming out of Walmart, and I live close to Walmart. So I'm coming out of Walmart, and my tire is like low. Something's wrong with my tire, right? And so I'm like, fuck. But I live close enough, so I was able to drive home, get everything, and I went back and I looked at my tire, and I pumped it up because something was wrong. So I pumped it up with air, and I could hear air coming out of it. I was like, damn. You got a bad leak when you can hear the fucking air coming out of your tire. I was like, holy shit, right? So bam, I went down the tire shop and they showed me the tire, and on the inside of the tire there was this huge crack. It almost looks to me like maybe one of the people I took it to sabotaged me and like cut it. It was so bad. I'm just like, it was so bad. And I'm just like thinking, oh my God, that thing was ready to blow. Because like I said, it started to leak. It was leaking so bad I could hear it leaking. That's how bad this cut was. It was about half of the size of the tire on the inside. There's a huge fucking crack that was like a cut. And the guy said it was on 2 of my tires, so I needed all new tires and shit, right? So I had to get all fucking new tires and shit. That was an unexpected expense of what was coming up that kind of fucked with me and shit, right? So I had to get new tires, but then I got new tires. I got a new oil change and shit. I needed an oil change because I only get my oil change like once a year. And I only put like a couple thousand miles on my car because I don't really go out and shit. So even in the period of a year, I only put like a couple thousand miles on my car. So it wasn't that I needed to change my oil because of the mileage and shit, but I hadn't changed my oil for like a year. So I went ahead and got that changed. So I was real happy about. So I was like, okay, well, got new tires and got an oil change, so my car should be basically in good fucking condition. Now I don't have to worry about. But I was like, that's one of those things that with the tire, it's like I got lucky. I got lucky that it worked out the way it did, and I was able to get the new tires because I should have been driving on the road, and that tire should have just blown. And if the tire blows, it can do damage to your car. The tire can do a lot of damage. Plus, you can damage your rim. Plus, it can make you crash. Plus, then you're stuck and shit, right? So it's like, holy shit, I should have had those problems. My tires were so bad, they should have just blown. I can't believe they didn't just blow out on me. So I got really lucky. But that cost me another $600 and shit took out of my pocket. So that kind of sucked. But it was one of those things is like, I'm just sitting here thinking like how lucky I got. I usually am pretty lucky in that life. In my life, I've been really lucky to have these really bad situations like that. But in the end, it ends up just being like a cost and a little bit of time out of my day. But then I'll get it fixed. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm on the road again. Everything's good to go and shit, right? But it's like, damn. So that was one of those things I felt really lucky. It was like one of those things. It was like, man, did I get lucky that fucking tire didn't blow out or on the road doing something bad. I just could have been so bad and shit, right? Because my tires had perfect tread. Like I said, I don't go my tires had perfect. I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking my tires could go another 30,000 miles. That's how wrong I was in my head. That's why I'm saying like how shocking it was. My tires were basically brand new, because I've had them for a long time, but I don't put much mileage on my car. Those tires probably had 20,000 miles on them at the most, right? So they easily could have went another 30,000 miles. but so that's one of those things I got where I just got lucky that fucking it didn't blow out on me and shit, right? And so that ended up working out as good as it could have and shit. So I was really happy for that and shit. Okay, that was good. Good talking to you fucking losers and shit, right? And I was just thinking like I'm probably gonna be taking a break here and shit, like going away, like fully just going away, right? I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, and we'll see how that happens when it plays out and shit, right? But I'm just kind of like, I don't, the one thing is like, I'm trying to make last thing clear is that Dan and Smokey are old and they could die. And this is like the thing is like, when people, like these idiots are like, all you were talking about is the Diana and Smokey story. It's like, dude, Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson are Michael Jackson's real parents. That's a fact. It's easily provable. Dude, Smokey Robinson was asked. The fact that it's like, I can't get the Michael Jackson fan community to take me seriously, but I had a reporter take my work serious and ask Smokey to his face if it was true. That you guys can't even give me the respect for the understanding that a reporter asked Smokey Robinson about my story because he wanted to know if it was true. He's not trying to spread a rumor. He was just simply, hey, he looked into my work and saw this has evidence. This is evidence. This is a real investigation. A real reporter looked at my work and said, this is real. And it was real enough that he asked Smokey Robinson. And I still can't get any Michael Jackson fans to even look about it or even think about it. You guys are horrible, horrible human beings. Really, like I said, the stupidest of the stupid, like a Matt's FTR and Tanya Moonwalker. You're talking about like the stupidest of the stupidest fucking humans there are. Now, the other people on their page, they're all stupid too, but they're still young enough that there's still a chance, right? Even though I know that they don't have a chance because they're stupid idiot losers, but there's still a chance. And that's what I come in here. Even I'll give you your chance and shit, even though I know you're stupid loser idiots and shit, right? But you know, like a Joey's got no chance. Joey's such a fucking moron loser. Joey will always be a fucking moron loser and shit. He'll never understand anything, right? He's got no chance and shit, right? You're all fucking losers and shit, right? So fuck all you fucking losers and shit, right? That's really all I gotta say to you motherfuckers is fuck all you fucking losers. All right. That's enough for today. Goodbye.